Thank you for joining us. This is round 6. This is going to be the final round for today. And it's showtime. We've got the standings in front of us. We've got a feature match from basically what is table 4 as our main feature match, table 5 behind them. We're going to start with Connor Daly and Mike Sigrist.
You can start them.
And we're going right into it. Looking at mulligans right now. Mike playing the wild deck, Connor on the evil deck. I was watching while I was off stream in rounds 4 and 5, and I saw these matchups out there really close.
Yeah, no, it's definitely interesting. I'm much more excited to see how the evil style deck actually responds to, wilds type decks when both of those decks don't have to worry about, dealing with things like ceasefire and fumble in the format, and when they're just tuning to everything else.
Yeah. This is a winning it, and we got our. So
Michael's going to lead off with the Misguided Herald, and he's digging. His options are Draka's Enforcer, Strafing Dragon, and Brachiosaurus.
Wow, it looks like Mike Sigrist has a Brachiosaurus in hand as well.
Yeah, it's interesting. Honestly, I think I like filling up the hand or being aggressive. Brachiosaurus is kind of a weird, awkward play because it's so difficult to follow up if your opponent actually calls your bluff on it. Like if you pull out the Brachiosaurus and then let's say Connor does something like draws 2, right? Let's say he plays like Dirge of Skara. Then what does Michael do to follow up with that? Does he just drop another champion into play and then he's weak to the many wraths that we saw in Connor's deck last game?
Right. Yeah. Some key cards in this matchup: Dark One's Fury, a new card from Pantheon. That I think is a card that we're gonna really look to see, as well as Angel of Death. These board wipes from Connor are going to be super important, especially when Mike goes wide.
Right, so he's going to play the Reaper here. When the Reaper has Tribute and Ally ability, it breaks a champion, and then the champion's owner gets a demon token. So that's going to be pretty tough for Michael to deal with if, he basically he's either going to need to deal with the Reaper or capitalize on those demon tokens. And just on what he has in his hand, I mean, he could, he probably needs to draw 2 with the Ancient Chant, I think. His options are Strafing Dragon, Surprise Attack, and Brachiosaurus. But, surprise attacking out of Brachiosaurus into a Strafing Dragon doesn't seem like a very exciting play.
Picks up Amnesia and a Fire Shaman. Yeah, these Fire Shamans and these Brachiosaurus, very much combo cards in the wild deck. Playing a Fire Shaman into Brachiosaurus, dealing 3 into your actual wild coin. 1 Fire Shaman can do 6 with Brachiosaurus right away. But again, really, that would be really overextending, or could be really overextending against Connor's board wipes.
Yeah.
So Mike's going to be playing the dance the entire round of putting enough pressure but not overextending. It's very difficult, but he's been doing it very well out there.
Yeah. So Michael's going to get in for 3 with the Misguided Heralds, and now Michael's basically has to make the first move because that Reaper is going to chip away at Michael much better than a Demon Token and a Misguided Herald are going to. So he's going to go digging by recycling with his Amnesia. He draws 2 because he recycles his Ancient Chant. But he's not getting the whole value out of the Amnesia. Maybe he's thinking that Connor has things like Scar's Gift, and he's going to be eating most of his discard pile anyway.
Right. And Mike is running 3 Amnesia. So sometimes, especially early in the game, you'll see people, we saw it in Limited earlier with Blind Faith, you don't have to blow somebody out or take a huge amount of cards out of the discard pile. Those cards are so powerful because you can just recycle to filter your hand into exactly what you're looking for that moment.
So Michael plays Brachiosaurus and passes. Connor just allows himself to draw because he knows he's going to get the first play and he's going to get to break the Brachiosaurus when he plays any evil card that costs a gold. So yeah, it looks like he's playing the Roxas Curse first so that he can get back the Scar's Gift when he plays his evil card for the turn.
Yep.
Which is probably going to be an event.
Yeah, Scar's Gift. I read it when the cards are coming out, but it is way more powerful than it looks on paper, and we've been seeing that last round at table 1, I actually watched in round 5 John versus Tom Sorensen, and Scar's Gift was a huge part of that game, and we've been seeing it all over out there. This card, deal 2 damage to target player, gain 2 health. That allied ability may banish 2 other cards in your discard pile if you do recall. A lot less discard hate than we saw before, but Mike does have those 3 amnesias, so we'll see the power of Scar's Gift in this.
Yeah, and I think, especially in Epic, you get a lot of first perceptions on a card are different than how it actually plays out, and that goes both ways. I mean,
absolutely.
I'm sure everyone, they see Burrowing Worm and they're like, well, that's like the most powerful champion in the format. Like, it's so broken. And I mean, the only thing that you can say about Burrowing Worm once you played a lot is that, yeah, it gets broken a lot.
Exactly. So, Connor, Dark One Fury as a draw 2, because he's got the Reaper in play, allied ability, got rid of the Brachiosaurus, and also was able to get that Scar's Gift back to his hand.
Yeah, so now he's sitting pretty comfortably. He's not really at a position where he's going to die to just damage. So Michaels kind of needs to do something about the board, but that Reaper is going to be pretty awkward if he can't deal with it. And his
Reaper,
things keep getting turned into demon tokens.
And looking at Mike's deck, which I have in front of me, he doesn't have the Evil Splash. He doesn't have Drain Essences. Reaper is something that's harder for them to kill. They don't have the Drain Essence, but it looks like
he's making his own Drain Essence.
Strafing Dragon, Wolf Spite, Flame Spike. You do what you have to do.
Yeah, I mean,
Reaper did look really, really good against Mike's deck, and he says, well, I can't have that sticking around.
Yeah, Reaper has 2 Brachiosaurus souls, and a lot of fire.
Yeah. So that was all on the end of Connor's turn. Surprise attacking that Strafing Dragon into play, fishing off with the zeros.
Did you get a Wolf token for the Wolf Spite? You do play Wolf Spite, right?
5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That was be exactly. He would have had to, and I think he recycled the Wolf Spite to the bottom with the flame.
I just mean his token.
Yeah, I don't see it. It may be hiding just off screen. Or they're looking for one. So, Roxas Curse again, breaking a 0 and putting a demon into play.
Right. It looks like he's going to be playing Medusa here. That's why he wants to, put the Roxas Curse in his discard pile so that way he can immediately... He wants to stay ahead, the reason...
or Drain Essence.
He just wants to leave the Reaper in his discard pile for Zombie Apocalypse. But I think the main reason that you want to, follow up on the Scar's Infection early as soon as possible, Scar's Gift. I mean, we know that that Mike has Amnesia in his deck, so he wants to use his discard pile as soon as possible, so that it's less painful when he does get amnesia'd. But also, then he can kind of stay as far above the curve as possible and just completely shut off any angle of Michael, attacking his health.
Exactly, and Scar's Gift playing out very much like if you've played Plentiful Dead before. There's a way to play it where you can try to keep it out of your discard pile almost all the time, right? It's barely there for only a second. You don't lose priority, and then it's back in your hand. And that's exactly what Connor's been doing with Scar's Gift.
Yeah, and honestly, Brock, it's been seeming really good, but I think that in this particular matchup, it's much worse because it's just not quite fast enough.
Yeah, and Connor has 2 erase, 3 hasty retreat. That is something I really like out of Connor's deck and the other evil decks we've seen from the flock today. Yeah. They were definitely prepared for Brack or also the Silverwing Lancers as well coming out of the other decks.
Right, and so right there, and other buffs and things like that. Like, I block your T-Rex with a zombie token, but I have ways to punish you for raging it or lashing it.
Exactly. So Connor, Dark One's Fury, really showing the power. That's super excited about that card coming out of, and seeing it here, it doesn't surprise me. Dark One's Fury, if it's your turn, break all non-evil champions. That is why those demons stuck around, and Mike lost his whole board.
And we're seeing, the reason why this card was put in the deck. It's another good option specifically against those wild decks that go large. If your opponent's just putting a lot of big champions into play, then kill all your champions. Oh, by the way, I keep mine. It's a pretty good deck.
Yeah. And Roxas Displeasure existed before, but and in that case, I guess it would have been pretty much the same. But there are a lot of times that it's not. Rift Summoner is a human that makes demons, and Xanos. Exactly. So those are also sticking around now with Dark One's Fury.
And your zombie tokens.
Yeah, and your zombie tokens. So yes, from Xanos. So this new Dark One's Fury is some really great tech for this weekend, and I've seen it in pretty much almost every single evil deck.
I mean, the other thing is that, you could also plan around, if you can also act as copies 4 to 6 if you, wanted basically more Roxas Displeasures, because, all of your demons are going to be evil.
We haven't seen nearly as much of this card as I thought we would this weekend, but there's Thought Plucker from Mike.
Yeah. It's interesting. A lot of people seem to have, everyone that I've talked to has been liking Thought Plucker less.
Well, as great as the card is, Dirge of Scar comes to mind immediately as just more ways to be able to discard to Thought Plucker and still gain advantage. And I think that's part of the reason why Dirge has been in all these evil decks, as well as cards like Plentiful Dead, Ancient Chant. We've seen Bodyguard, Cave Troll, Soul Hunter before. There's a big list of cards that are good against Thought Plucker, and there's been a lot less this weekend.
So I think Michael's in a bit of an awkward position because he doesn't actually have, any way to gain health. He's playing more of a traditional wild deck. So what that means is he's at 14, like maximum for the rest of the game. And
he knows that.
Yeah, he knows that, and that's why he's playing towards it. Basically, he's got to really reduce the number of options that his opponent has.
Yep. And Connor discarded that haste retreat to the Thought Plucker. When Thought Plucker attacks the Rift Summoner coming in, he revealed Loyalty 2 to get a demon, broke one of the demons that was already expended, and...
Right, because he's going to be discarding one of the cards he revealed.
Right, so he needed that Loyalty 2 now. He doesn't have an answer to this Thought Plucker, and...
Yeah, I mean...
As good as there are cards against it, unchecked, Thought Plucker is still Thought Plucker.
Yeah. No, I'd even argue that there's something to be said for discarding the Scar's Infection here, because, it can go back to your hand, and if your opponent doesn't have a way to clear it out of your discard pile, then, how much is that 2 damage really worth?
Yeah. Scar's Gift would... There's also been... Mike's already used 2 of his amnesias, so it's safer than
and
before.
Connor's got more Scar's Gifts that he can find later, and he's got plenty
even if he does lose one.
So I think it's more about... I mean, to be fair, the Xanos probably isn't going to be, too great of a card, too useful in his hand right now anyway.
That's true as well. So Mike, way more cards in hand. He does choose to go with the Xanos. Connor does. Mike, way more cards in hand, but 4, 8, 12, 16, 21 power right now on the side from Connor. So, there's the third amnesia.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, and I do think that the Rift Summoner has already been used, so he can't make more demon tokens.
Right.
But that is very easily going to be super threatening, and he can't just pull out a Draka here. He doesn't have any Pyrosaurus in his deck, so, I think the best thing that he could get right now, he's probably wants to just dig to that Hurricane, I think is what he needs to do.
Right. Yep.
I guess he does have, 2 Fire Shamans, and he has a whole bunch of cards in his hand, so he could just, spew out a bunch of damage effects and hope that's good enough.
Right. We'll see how Mike chooses to dump his hand to, now that he has way more cards, to try to stabilize against all these demons.
I honestly think that he might even want to just it's really awkward. I'm not sure whether he should misguide or... Okay,
he's still trying to decide.
He's going to look first.
So...
I'm going to take a peek at what he... That's another... Yeah, same card. Now he has 2 of the Draka's Enforcers. So... All right, so he's definitely getting rid of
Yep.
that with the lightning strike, and he's going to dig some more, presumably with the flame spike by hitting a different demon.
Or the same demon to finish it off.
Right. Well, I guess in my mind,
It's. Oh, you were thinking of Draka?
I was thinking. Well, I was thinking that he would probably be really worried about taking damage right now and just be focused on, like playing a fire shaman to clear.
Right.
Because now.
Oh, right. You're
now,
right. Two.
Now,
Yeah, I know what
guess
you mean.
Either way, he can clear 2.
Right.
Yeah. But it is better for Draka, yeah. If you top deck the Draka there. Right, so he's just going to draw 2. Look for that. Look for more answers, more thought pluckers.
Both fire shaman allied abilities go right at the same demon, 6 damage to it. Draw 2 off smash and burn, and
I mean, he doesn't know his opponent's hand, so he doesn't have to worry about overextending too much. I mean,
right.
Even if he does overextend, 3 of his opponent's wraths are basically blanked because he can't loyalty 2 for the Angel of Death or the Medusa.
Right.
So,
yeah, Connor also has waves, but that's not something he's looking for here necessarily.
It wouldn't be that bad because right now he just wants to draw more cards.
Oh, right. I mean, if you use it as a draw 2, I was saying it as a board wipe, though. It's not necessarily something Connor's looking for right now. He needs to find a way to get that thought plucker off and draw a bunch of cards and restabilize or try to win. And Mike has the smash and burn.
The other demon.
I think he can just take.
Oh, maybe he's going to
6.
smash and burn the demon and then deal 6 to Connor and then block the demon token with the Draka's Enforcer.
Yes, we'll wait to see that. Connor should be going to 31 here, I think. Yep, that is what he decided to do.
Right, we'll draw off that.
Loyalty for Draka's Enforcer. And Draka's Enforcer blocks the attacking demon. Yeah, that demon is gone.
So he's just playing a 6/5 with Airborne.
Wow. I mean, that's all he can do. That's it.
Right. He can't even Scars Gift. I mean, he can, but he can't recall it.
Right. This is quickly turned for Mike Sigrist here. He is ahead on board, and he is ahead on cards, and that is the sign when,
honestly,
regardless of life total right now.
So, personally, in my opinion, I don't know how much. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8 plus 7 is 15, 16. Plus 6 is, so he could do 22 if he plays a wild card. Sorry, if he plays Smash and Burn, he could deal 27 on board.
Yeah.
But I think if I'm Connor, I actually would consider not playing either. And then when the Thought Plucker hits me, discard the Scar's Gift.
Okay.
And then if I top deck an evil card, I can Angel of Death to clear the board.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this is like the issue here is that basically now Connor's out is
Dark One's Fury.
Dark One's Fury. Yeah, pretty much it's Zombie Apocalypse to a lesser extent.
Right.
That won't really get him out of the hole because he'll still be taking a ton of damage.
Yeah. Even if I think even if he went with it got a Dark One's Fury off the top here, Mike's hand is so strong.
Yeah. Yeah.
And for all of you people who thought Thought Plucker was not going to be a star here, look at it in the winning in round 6. It really did shine. Ancient Chant from Connor.
Yeah.
Could get a Zombie Apocalypse off of it. I mean,
Yeah.
We'll
Good,
see.
Or Wave.
yeah, we'll see what happens. Not the worst draw, but Mike in a commanding lead here. Yeah,
It looks
Connor
like he's stepping
says,
it up.
yeah,
He doesn't want to have a repeat of what just happened.
right, yeah. That's game 1 to Mike Sigrist. Wow,
Yeah.
that was a big. I mean, it was
It was
even.
swing. Yeah, it looked like Connor's deck was really holding its own, and then
Yeah.
all of a sudden there was a lot of
Yep.
so
Yeah,
here-
we're moving to our backup feature match. Looks like we're already in game 2. These two gentlemen were at table 5, both with 9 points. So again, this is a win and both these players looking to win. And
Right.
I've seen they are both wild decks. I'm not exactly sure what's in Nick's deck, but I was looking at Will's. I think he has some good, like a good splash as well.
Actually,
some really interesting things going
Nick's
on.
deck looks really interesting. It's more of like a token oriented.
Nick's is, yeah.
Yeah. We see all. Oh,
Wait,
this is the wrong list.
yes, that actually
All right.
is. We have the wrong Nick, but we have the right Will.
All right. Well, it's
Sorry.
For
No,
Will's
wait.
deck.
This is that. This for talking. I was talking about Will's deck. This deck has Brave Squires, Lashes.
Force Lance.
Yeah, Force Lands. Yeah, this is a really aggressive. And look at that, that's a Silverwing Guardian.
Maybe no Force Lance. Yeah, it's also got a lot of interesting one-ofs, like a lot of Miser one-ofs.
Yeah.
And I guess that's because, you have cards that you don't want to see multiples of in your hand. Or that you want to see once per game, like Amnesia in the long matches.
Yeah,
Right.
Silverwing Guardian and Brave Squire, bringing me back to the Avenging Angel Brave Squire back in base set.
I mean,
and that's what this deck is trying to do.
Yeah, and the Silverwing Guardian is a fantastic Brave Squire target, right? Because you can even just ambush it out, right, and then block something, and then Brave Squire it, and it's it's like an inner piece that gives you a huge body.
Yep.
It's interesting.
Nick with the hasty retreat against that Silverwing Guardian, but Will's deck very different than a lot of the other decks we've seen.
Right, it's kind of like an aggressive deck that has life gain in it in an attempt to mitigate, the matchup versus other aggressive decks.
We had seen other wild decks in the past use Drain Essence. Mm-hmm. This is Silverwing Guardian Brave Squire, an aggressive life gain instead of a defensive life gain strategy from Will.
Yeah, like, I can just hit you and ignore the fact that you're hitting me because you're never going to race me to death. I have health. I have righteous champions.
Yeah, we're going to head back to the main match. We'll keep an eye on what's happening with Nick and Will. We're going to start here.
So
draw twos on both sides.
Right, and Michael won the first match.
Right, so most likely Connor was on the draw.
All right, so Connor, he is probably looking for like a Gudgeon or a Xanos here. Those are probably his best establishing plays.
Yep. And that's, right after a draw two.
Right after a draw two. On the draw, that's going to be, 6 zombies, 6 tokens. You don't, and he has a Scar's Gift. So he has, the tool that he needs to start grinding out the match,
Yeah, and Mike's going to write all these down. Xanos, super, super powerful. That Loyalty X, though, does say, hey, here's what my hand is as well, though. And Mike's going to be able to write that down. It's part of the cost.
Might as well be tribute, reveal your hand.
Right. In this case, it is exactly that. See, Connor's a very good hand this game, and a really great start. This is the most amount of pressure that the evil deck can put, and he's doing it early.
Yeah, and then even if, let's say Michael has a Hurricane here, that would be the perfect answer, right? Or like a Draka follow. Then he can still follow up with the Rift Summoner, which generates a lot of pressure right away.
Yeah.
I mean, you just drop Rift Summoner and make 2 demons. You already have 13 combat on the board.
Yeah.
When your turn starts. And if he eats that, he can also just, eat the Dirge of Skara. With his gift of...
Oh my gosh,
he's
got the Scar's Gift as well. And Scar's Grit, that's a really cool... Yeah, Scar's Gift and Dirge of Skara coming together, working really well.
So
Connor's also got Ancient Chance, lots of ways to...
He has the Drain Essence in his hand.
Wow. Mike, Thought Plucker.
Yeah, so, I mean, after last game, it'll be interesting to see if Connor how worried he is about the Thought Plucker. And whether, the Thought Plucker ruining his hand again, and if he'll discard the Scar's Gift in an attempt to be really greedy. Yeah,
we'll see. If Connor discards that Scar's Gift, Mike has an Amnesia in his hand actually ready to go. So this is a tough decision for Connor. It seems easy, like, just pitch that Scar's Gift. You can get it back. But Connor knows about Amnesias. He chooses the Rift Summoner.
Wow. Yeah. And, keep in mind he has the Wither here, so he has the opportunity to wither either of these champions before his turn starts.
Also a tough choice.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
I mean, if you're only going to get rid of one, then you want to get rid of the
Right,
thought
yeah,
blocker.
yeah. There's nothing you can do about that Muse right now. He does have to choose, and
Oh, he has both. He also
that's right. He had Roxas Curse. Wonderful. He
So-
says, I don't have to choose.
Yeah.
Roxas Curse is the Muse.
Right.
Withers the Thought Plucker.
Of
And
course.
we are still not at Mike's turn yet.
Yeah, of course, Michael has the amnesia, but he should probably just draw. There's no reason. Well, he might amnesia right now in the case he draws a Muse off the top.
Yes. I've thought about that before. If you're
Yeah.
playing Amnesias and Muse, heads up play for Mike right there. Choosing to Amnesia just in case he draws another Muse.
Yeah, good call. He draws 2 because he's recycling an ancient chant and they discard pile.
And Connor picks up another demon from Dirge of Scar.
And he gets an erase and a Dracus Enforcer.
So lots of zeros here at the end of turn, but
Yeah.
they're really, really showcasing all of their power. Muse and having the Roxas Curse for it.
Of course, he's also digging because he really wants an answer for this,
Yes.
ridiculously large board. There's no way he's going to fight this on the ground by just playing a bunch of things.
Right. As good as Brachiosaurus might be at attacking, it can only block
Yeah.
one zombie a turn.
Exactly.
So, Mike still. Yep.
Interesting. Yep, he's still looking. He's like, I'm going to make that play anyway.
So why not do it in case I draw
Right.
Muse? Still at the end of Connor's turn, and now we are going to Mike's turn. Here we go. That's his draw step.
I mean, it's
Yep.
better for him to do that if he's going to draw, if he doesn't get a board wipe. But maybe he's thinking, if I board wipe here, then I probably just win anyway, so I should plan to not draw
Right.
board wipe.
Right. And looking at Mike's list though, that's one Hurricane.
One Hurricane.
We see
yeah.
on his list that's
One
that's
Hurricane.
one Hurricane.
I mean, there's also, what, is that 1 Draka or 2? I think that's 2.
Yeah,
Looks like
and
it's
2 Drakas.
two
Okay, so those are the cards right now, against Thanos that he needs. And Connor's gone super wide, super aggressive against Mike. But
He's going to dig for the Draka.
I was going to say, he
Yeah.
doesn't find
No
Draka.
cigar. He can either get out Brock, Fist of Lashnok, Raging T-Rex, or Brachiosaurus.
Yep.
So it kind of depends on what he has in his hand and what he thinks his best option for winning is.
Yep.
The Raging T-Rex gives him the most cards to look at.
Yep.
Or he could Brachiosaurus draw 2.
Right.
But the Raging T-Rex also keeps the most cards in hand. So I think that's the best option, since he's definitely not going to worry about punching through
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah. And earlier today, I actually saw Mike in round 4 when I was off the stream. He went Misguide Herald into Brachiosaurus from his hand, Strafing Dragon.
Yeah, he has Brachiosaurus in
yeah.
hand. Maybe,
And it looks like
maybe
Mike
that's
is putting together a turn
forward.
very similar to that. And when you think, well, I mean, how is the evil deck going to put up enough blockers? Look at this. Misguide into Brachiosaurus into
Strafing
Brachiosaurus.
Dragon.
It may be insane. Very, very similar to what I've seen him do earlier today. And that is the power of Wild and the rebuild off of coins that act like zeros.
He's going down on a lot of cards, though. Pretty soon, he's going to go from having a almost a full grip to
Right.
basically the same amount of cards as Connor.
Right.
So here he could Strafing Dragon and just hit for 11, potentially. I mean, he knows that Connor has Drain Essence, right? So he could just Drain Essence with his play.
Looking at that Brock.
Yeah, I think he's thinking about what cards he saw out of Connor's
Right.
hand.
Yep. And there is Brack, the Fist of Lashnoth. Reveal 2 here. Draw a card, and it's unbreakable until the end of turn.
Yeah.
Look at that one-turn rebuild from Mike, though.
Kind of like Loyalty X. You just reveal the cards and then you play them.
Yeah. Yep. Connor goes for the Dirge of Scar.
Yeah.
It's his coin. Mike really showcasing the power of Misguide Herald and Brachiosaurus. They are coins, but as you see, you think, wait, you only can play 1 coin a turn. How did he play 4?
Yeah.
But Brachiosaurus, as long as you're using that coin to play a wild card or power, it's an 8-12 breakthrough 0. And that's the biggest 0 in the game.
The one thing that Michael is doing here is that he is setting himself up to be destroyed by Dark One's Blessing.
Yes.
If Connor just rips a Dark One's Blessing here, and I assume he hasn't because he would probably just play it right away
right.
if he had one, then
Yes.
this would just, he just lose effectively,
Right.
3 cards in hand.
Exactly, and that's I mean, as powerful as Brachiosaurus is, you say, well, how is that fair? Well, you don't draw any cards off of it, and you're overextending. You're saying I'm making a lot of power, I'm putting a lot of pressure, but if you have a board wipe, I'm down cards, and that's the the pros cons of Brachiosaurus.
Yeah.
And I don't think Connor has that Dark One's Fury. I'm sure he wish he does. He's got to decide how to not only break through these Brachiosauruses when they're on defense, but how he's going to deal with the breakthrough.
Yeah, the double Brachiosaurus kind of turned the situation into one where it can't really profitably attack.
Yeah.
I mean,
we should also note really quick, the Strafing Dragon and the Dracosforce are not in play. Those are from a loyalty trigger off the
yes.
Brack. Those are just revealed from loyalty, and Mike is just leaving them there for Connor, at least at this time. So
interesting. Looks like he's actually shuffling away Scar's Gift, so I assume that he has another one in his hand. Or sorry, he's recycling away Scar's Gift.
And he should be getting a demon. There was a dirge in there, wasn't there?
It was a dirge, yeah.
Yeah, he already had 2 demons, so probably a 3rd demon coming in here.
Yeah. Michael's letting him know.
Yep. There it is.
He's definitely looking for that Dark One's Blessing.
Yeah.
Or even just, a good play for this turn, like Reaper, something that will stick and remove the 14 coming to him from that Brock next turn.
Yeah, Reaper is shining against decks that don't have Drain Essence. We saw what Mike had to do in Game 1 to...
Yeah, it looks like he's just going to keep digging.
Yeah, I guess the board's kind of stable. Connor's not super happy, but I guess if it keeps going wide and it keeps being just more and more champions, I guess Dark One's Fury is still good a turn or two from now.
Yeah.
The question is, can Connor hold off these 8-12s with breakthrough?
Right.
And for how long can he do that while Mike continues to put pressure?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's what's going to happen when Michael decides to attack with the Brachiosaurus. Is it going to get, 8 tuple blocked?
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I guess you could just block it with Xanos, and then they bounce.
Exactly. Opens yourself up to your Xanos dying to Lightning Strike.
Anything.
Or so many other things. Even Draka, all kinds of things.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, if Brachiosaurus attacks, you probably want to... Okay, so Brock's coming in first, because, you want to get the most value. So he actually has Wave. I think Wave here is a pretty good option. Because it's kind of like
seems...
the equalizer.
Yeah.
I mean, they flip over.
Yeah, double-sided tokens, so useful.
It effectively saves you that 14.
Right. But again, Connor needed to play his coin first. Those Brachiosauruses and that Brock, the Fist of Lashnoth, put a ton of pressure on Connor very quickly. Yeah. And Connor says, I can't handle this. Waves, but Mike still has his coin, and that's where a card like Strafing Dragon here can really shine.
Yeah.
It could be 11 to Connor's face if Connor doesn't have an answer here with a 0.
Yeah. And then, of course, we also have the Draka. If Michael had Draka here, it would be ridiculously
oh my gosh,
right?
Yeah.
Connor would just take the 9.
Yep.
And then also you need to
be losing all of your wolves.
Yeah. All right, so it looks like he's a little worried about running out of cards in this.
Right. He chooses the Draka's Enforcer over the Strafing Dragon and with the Blitz.
Right.
Could have hit for 11 there, but decides to reload a little bit. This is a bit surprising. I thought he might go for the Strafing Dragon, 11 to Connor, and then Draka's Enforcer on his turn. But either way, he's also just
he's a little worried.
Yeah.
Possibly about attacks. He just wants to make those attacks, not profitable.
Exactly.
So let's see right now if Connor swings with everything, then they both lose 5. Michael loses his wolves. Connor loses 7, and then he gets in for 2, and that's not a good place to be for Connor.
Yep. But there he goes.
I mean, because Brachiosaurus has got to block that, right? Okay.
Yep. Oh, looks like we're going to... Oh.
That's interesting.
Yep. Starts with just the wolf trade, but the second attack Drax Enforcer.
Yeah, I mean, basically,
Yep.
it's interesting. I guess he's probably planning on playing like an Angel of Death or something this turn.
That could be exactly what it is. There's no reason not to. Just to make sure, hey.
I mean, you get 2 in.
I get 2 in if you don't block anything, and Mike's kind of picked up on that, right? Like, right.
Yeah,
Mike's
he
like,
thought about it and I was like,
I'm going to block everything I can. What's going on here? And Connor does get 2 in. But Angel of Death could be...
Yeah, I think it's going to
Good
be
choice
Angel
here.
of Death, and then Strafing Dragon kills the Angel of Death.
Yep.
So that's not...
It's not great for Connor, but the
Great.
board, it's slightly ahead for Mike on board. So
Right, yeah, you
if
have
that's the
nothing else
choice.
to do.
We see a race. I think there's Medusa in Connor's hand as well.
I mean, I guess he could do something absolutely crazy like Scar's Gift into Steed of Zaltesa. That would be right. That would bring Michael down to 6.
I mean, yeah. We there are steeds that the super excited for this. We haven't talked about Steed of Zaltesa, at least when I've been in the booth, but that is also another card super excited to see for Evil. They didn't have a lot of airborne, and
Yeah, and it gives you a way to have burst without splashing wilds, basically.
Yeah.
So, a lot of the time it's going to be...
Yeah, I actually read the card and was like, that's another great dragon for wild.
Right.
And then my friend was like, that's an evil card. I was like, oh, even cooler
Yeah.
to see the. Then there it is on screen.
Yeah, and it's a demon, so if you
Oh,
want
yeah.
to make your if you want to make your
Rox's displeasure.
then
Absolutely,
you can toss some
absolutely.
Zaltesas in there.
But this card is really exciting in the heavy evil deck. Also something you could just play the steed, loyalty 2, 5 to the face, keep it back on defense. Block Strafing Dragon really well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not Drax Enforcer though. That's the payoff.
So it looks like maybe Connor's planning on playing a Zombie Apocalypse this turn, or maybe he's got like a Medusa. Yeah.
Right. We saw a race into the Medusa here.
Interesting.
Drain Essence and Reaper in
I
hand.
guess he's just going to eat the 8 from the Brachiosaurus then, potentially.
Yeah, but I mean, there's also an 11 possibly from Strafing Dragon.
Right?
There's a lot of damage coming at Connor. Mike has been able to keep the pressure up.
Mhm.
I mean, really playing the wild deck, really showing.
Oh, he's just going to jump it.
Okay. Oh, the hasty retreat. So he goes ahead and blocks with the Medusa. Says, a little bit of tempo. Said, I'm trying to catch back up in this game, and
I'll
I'm
just
gonna.
take my gain 8 for 0.
Right.
Because Michael can just replay the Brachiosaurus for free.
Exactly. Again, definitely didn't deal with the Brachiosaurus, just didn't take the 8 this turn.
So it looks like Michael's thinking about various options. He's definitely going to save the Draka because he doesn't have a lot of them, and there will be situations. I'm sure he'll find another situation later in the game where, Xanos comes out and then Draka just wrecks the board, or Zombie Apocalypse happens.
Yeah. And Mike, Brachiosaurus into Kong, 13 damage to the Medusa. The rebuild for the wild deck has been what's been so impressive.
Yeah.
With Misguided Heralds and Brachiosaurus into other powerful threats that like Kong and Strafing Dragon, Brock the Fist of Lashnoth, the pressure is endless.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And Mike has not missed a beat and has not missed a turn the entire game. If you like wild and you've been watching, watch what Mike does, because this is a clinic on the perfect amount of pressure, not overextending, but finding ways into the game. And look, he didn't find that one Hurricane, but he dealt with that turn to Xanos.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, by just playing big things.
Just playing enough to say, I'll block your guys.
Yeah.
Or be somehow ahead to make you wave,
Mm-hmm.
which is exactly what he did. Reaper comes down, takes care of the Brachiosaurus.
So we're going to see if he builds another 9 combat here.
Which
Could do with...
there's a couple different ways he can do.
Strafing. I think he can only do it with Strafing, Wolf Spike, Flame Spike.
Which I think he has again, right?
He does have it again, but
Yep.
he won't get to recycle twice if he does it.
Right. once might be enough.
Right. I mean, I
I
guess
think
if he's
Mike
going to do
might
it,
do that
then
again.
he should probably recycle. He might want to. He might just want to use one of them first because he's going to reveal the other one.
Right.
So he might when he plays it. So and he already has both those 2 cards revealed. So he might as well, if he's going to. Okay, he's just going to go for the erase. So he's just going to go for the tempo play here.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then, I like this because then he can wolf spite the 2/2 and just, threaten Kong damage.
Yeah. Yeah, his line even more aggressive.
Probably the 4/4 swings in first, right?
Yep.
Because you don't want if your opponent has some way to deal with both of your things at the same time, then they're probably not gonna block your demon with the wolf, but yeah.
Exactly. You see the Kong, your wolf says, I can't block that demon, I've got to deal with this Kong. So, yep. But the wolf spike takes care of the wolf's token, and now Mike starts the turn by attacking. They both have their coin up, but caught under an incredible amount of pressure.
And probably one of the hardest things for Connor's deck to do is to break champions strongly off turn, right? It's got the Medusa, and it's pretty difficult. I mean, you can play.
There's some decks out there running Necrovirus, but Connor's list, it does not look like he has any of those.
Yeah, Necrovirus is a good choice, especially against in the mirror, because it's also really attrition heavy. Like, even if you're drawing cards, it still just generates you 3 zombies for free if you just discard it.
Yep. But again, harder for Connor's deck to do that. He has the Steeds and more board wipes. His version harder to deal with cards like Kong.
So just like that, Connor loses 17.
Yep.
Half his health.
Yeah, that was a huge hit from Mike, and just showcasing the power of Kong. So excited to see it. I mean, it's been around forever, but it's almost made a resurgence. And just recently, people saying, "What this card is still really, really good." Yeah. It's basically Wild's Medusa.
And it's not every day you actually get to see Kong hit a player.
Oh, yeah.
Like, oh, yep. You just dealt 13.
Yep.
Twice.
Yep. Connor really thinking, trying to craft, how do I get back in this game? And I think also something, Mike, and this is with deck building, that he's done is the flame spikes, the wolf spites. They're powerful, but they also recycle. And we saw this last year at Worlds with Fumble and Blind Faith. He has been able to keep his hand size the same as Connor's, or sometimes even more, while also putting all that pressure and recycle on zeros. When you see exactly.
Raging T-Rex.
Exactly.
I mean, even like his Rockets Enforcer got erased, which was, it gave him a play that let him, respond to his opponent's removal while gaining a card. It's not like if he had been removed in a different way.
Mike's just confirming something. Again, that Strafing Dragon is not in play. Just if you just joined in. That's just a revealed from Loyalty from before, and Mike just kindly leaving it there instead of Connor having to write it down. So Mike goes for the surprise attack.
Gonna draw some cards.
Maybe is that Strafing Dragon in play? He's just revealing. He's just still revealing his Loyalty 2. Yeah. I was like, wait, that's the Loyalty 2 from the Raging T-Rex.
Do you think he's going to clear? Yeah, it looks like he is going to clear the.
Yes.
The Reaper.
Oh yeah, that showcasing the power level of Smash and Burn right there. It's a draw 2, but it kind of has a 0 built into the bottom of it, and there it was right there.
He didn't even play the Smash and Burn. He discarded to maximum hand size last time. So.
Yeah, discarding the Dirge of Scar as Ancient Chance, Soul Hunters. I mean, there's all kinds of really great ways. If you say, hey, I've done a lot of drawing, or you made me bounce things with the race, but there's ways to punish people, and that's what that Smash and Burn did. He found a way to not even take a turn off from attacking and putting pressure with ambush. He still was able to put that Smash and Burn in the discard pile, activate its allied ability, and
even if Connor could off-turn clear here, he would still presumably be taking 11 from the Strafing Dragon. at least.
Exactly. That 11 is just basically just always threatening.
It's like, oh, yeah, I can do 11.
Yeah. If you play your coin first, if you don't have something with airborne that can chump block, that strafing dragon is a problem.
Plus it looks like that's Flame Spike. Yeah, so he had a Muse. It looks like that Michael had a Muse, but he didn't play it because his board's pretty big.
Right.
He doesn't really need to sink anything else into this.
Yeah, and to say, well, there's Dark One's Fury, but he uses it as a draw too. There's 2 demons on that side of the board because of Reaper.
Right.
I mean, that's not a full board clear.
Yeah, I mean,
that's not something you want to do right now. So
it's kind of the opposite of a combo with Reaper.
Right. Reaper, Dark One's Fury, a little wombo.
I guess you could take your own stuff.
Yeah, and Connor.
Yeah.
That's a handshake. That's the end of round 6 for Connor. Mike, 4-1-1, top 8. Really, congratulations to Mike. I believe he was 1-1-1. I'm almost sure he won 3 rounds in a row with this constructed deck. I know at least 2. I think 3. So, wow. Big congratulations to Mike Sigrist. I think top 8. Yeah, top 8 competitor. The other round is the other match is over. Right. Yeah. So for now, that's the end of round 6 of what we have. But we are we're gonna be figuring out who the top 8 is really soon, and we will have footage starting tomorrow morning, and we'll be showcasing best of 5s. Yep, at 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. We're gonna start, and we're going to be showcasing best of 5s, starting with 2 games of Dark Draft, 3 games of Construction, untimed, top 8. That's where we are from there. Anything else, CJ? What do you think about that? That was quick.
Yeah,
that was a clinic.
It was. I mean, it really shows, the base of Epic, that if you run out of plays to make, if your hand's going down and your opponent's hand is staying the same, and you're still making effective, aggressive plays, then the winner's basically decided.
Yeah, that was. I'm still just. There wasn't a turn that Mike didn't know exactly what he was doing. Clearly felt very comfortable with the deck, and that was a 2-0.
Yeah.
Congratulations again to Mike Sigrist, and from us, that's it for round 6. Again, thank you so much for tuning in wherever you are, all over the world, and we are really looking forward to the top 8 starting tomorrow morning. Again, 9:30 Eastern. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you again so much. I'll see you guys tomorrow.